And listen to the scene from this movie. We bought a zoo.
You know, sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. Just literally 20 seconds of just embarrassing bravery. And I promise you, something great will come of it.
20 seconds of insane courage. And I'm standing before you today telling you, man, all you need is about 6 seconds of insane courage on about 80 plays on Saturday afternoon. 6 seconds of insane courage over and 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 over again for 80 plays, and something remarkable will come from it. Something great will come from it. I don't know what the scoreboard said. I've never promised you a single day that scoreboard would work out for you, and I won't. The scoreboard of life doesn't always work out for you. It won't. It won't always work out for you. It won't always work out for me. But I'll be danged if I'll ever be one that lets failure define you or failure to decide for you to quit. So if you fail on one of those 6 seconds of insane courage and you get embarrassed like the young boy was worried about, forget it and move on. Sometimes failure is the closest ally to your success. If handled correctly, you do not lose hope. You do not lose faith. You do not lose courage. And you play that next 6 seconds with another insanely courageous effort. Those 20 seconds can change your life, man. Those 6 seconds, they can change this program's life. That's about how long it took Peter to get out of the boat, or David to charge Goliath, or Zacchaeus to climb a sycamore tree, or me to surrender my life to Jesus, or me to ask Jill out on our first date. It just took about 6 seconds of insane courage. What is it in your life, man, that you need to have a tough conversation about, or you need to sit down under the tree? I have a good friend. He called me this morning. Aiden was in here, and he always says, "Hey, Coach." He calls me Frosty. "Hey, Frosty, when can we get under that tree and go over the situation?" What do you need to go sit under the tree and just have a real conversation with me, with one of these coaches, maybe your girlfriend, a friend, a parent? And it's just going to take you about 20 seconds of insane courage to say, "Listen, this is what's going on. This is what's real." Man, if you ever let fear dictate your decisions, you will live defensively. Living by faith is going offensively. I want to tell you, I took an offensive coordinator's job. I always try to tell you real life stories. I took the offensive coordinator's job. Y'all don't even know this. Y'all don't even know where my first offensive coordinator job was, do you? Nobody even knows. Huh? He knows because he played there. San Jose State. Nobody even knows that about me. And I'm okay with that. But I take this, the school at Liberty, at Lambeth was going under. A little NAIA school and financially. And I get off the offensive coordinator's job at San Jose. Now, you've been around me long enough to know that there is no chance that I fit in San Jose, California. I just don't, I don't fit in. I knew it. My heart knew it. My gut knew it. But it took some insane courage for me to say, I'm going to leave my wife and kids in Jackson, Tennessee. I drove this old red Jeep that I had at that time, old Wrangler stick shift. I drove from Jackson, Tennessee at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll never forget it. I cried all the way to the airport, all the way, just boo-hooing, coming down my face because I didn't want to go. But I knew it was the next step. And it took just some insane courage to say, I'm going to get on that plane, I'm going to leave my wife and kids, and I'm going to go out to the West Coast where I don't fit, just to call some ball plays for what it future might be. And man, 3 months later, I get the call from Coach Harris. Hey, Arkansas State, Coach Roberts here wants to know if you'd be interested in this OC job here. Boom to there. Next year, head coach. Next year, head coach in the SEC. 7 years, God took me there. It took some insane courage, because I didn't want to get on that plane now. I didn't want to do it. It's like R.J. Fleming. He don't want to get on that plane. He can't stand it. But sometimes it just takes 6 seconds, 20 seconds of insane courage. Listen to me, when that happens, don't be surprised if people mock you. People are going to mock you. People are going to say, they're going to criticize you. They're going to judge you. When you take a step of insane courage, man, you better get over it and get on with it. You think the disciples didn't criticize Peter? Man, Peter, you fell in the water, dude. You couldn't even. You started walking on water and then you sunk. If I was Peter, I'd like to say, your butt stayed in the boat. Wouldn't even get out of the boat. And that brings me to old Saul. Saul did do something right. He raised a son. He raised a son right. I don't know what old Saul was going through, but I know he was sitting under the pomegranate tree, getting full, with somebody fixing to take his land. And so he ended up under the tree instead of climbing the cliff. But there was the son. And Jonathan tells one of the servants, listen, I don't know what they're going to do, but today, me and you are going to climb that cliff and fight those Philistines. And just maybe, this is his words, just maybe, God will give us the victory. He climbed it. It's an amazing story. I'll tell you more about it. Ed will tell you more about it. They won the battles. It's crazy. And he said, so on this day, let it be known that the Lord saved Israel. There are two kinds of people in this world, men. Those who ask why and those who ask why not. You can make excuses. You can make it about somebody else's fault. You can wish you had on opportunities you've been given like you're going to be given this Saturday. I have discovered that failure is not the end of the world. God was right there to pick me up and dust me off. Failure is not the enemy of success. It's the greatest and closest ally. Failure many times is part of one's success story. You just keep climbing the cliffs with 6 seconds of insane courage. Bob Goff, I don't know if you know him. He's one of the most humble, loving men that I've ever had the privilege of meeting, and I read most of his stuff. He's a missionary in Uganda. Uganda has a bunch of witch doctors. Witch doctors sacrifice young kids. And it broke Bob's heart. And he saved one named Charlie, brought him to the United States, got him repaired, got him in college and everything. And then he had the audacity to go and prosecute the witch doctor. It had never been done before in Uganda. Bob Goff was the first to do it and got a conviction on the witch doctor, sent him to prison. Bob then goes into prison and shares the gospel with this witch doctor. The witch doctor accepts Christ in prison. And Bob Goff, when he's telling the story, he says sometimes it just takes a little bit of courage to pick a fight. You got a cliff to climb Saturday. There's no two ways about it. There's a cliff to climb, and you can sit under the tree with King Saul, and you can eat yourself to be full of your 6 victories, and that's good, and top 25, and that's good. We'll celebrate those forever. Or you could choose to be like Jonathan and say, you know what, I'm going to climb this cliff with 6 seconds of insane courage on every single play, and just maybe, God will give us the victory. Let's have a great practice. 3 claps for Rick. There's Bible study this week. 4 days to make a U-turn. Bible out. Let's roll.